On the sidewalk in the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I assume they'll be able to pour concrete for a while.
They can't pour the concrete if the ground is frozen.
If it's frozen. That's MinDOT.
Yes.
And
So what they can do is they can put the rock base down fresh and then pour over the top of it. But even then, the temperature has to be at a certain degree and rising. I think it's 34 and rising, something like that. Which is unfortunate, because you can blanket it, you can put heat on it, you can put accelerant in it.
Yeah.
The problem is it's gonna crack, it's gonna break up. We're gonna want them to replace it next spring, and and because it wasn't poured to spec, they're gonna say that the warranty is invalid on it, and we're gonna have to pay to replace it. So it wouldn't make any sense for us to force that issue.
so, there wouldn't be any problem with getting the concrete if the temperatures were of sufficient temperatures.
Not that we're aware of, unlike many parts of Minnesota where there is a concrete shortage, there is not in this area.
That's good.
In fact, Bar Engineer, when I was talking to them about the canoe ramp, we talked about the cement issue in the cities. He said they can't even get a truckload. I said, you gotta drive down here and pick some up. It's worth its weight in gold up there. They just couldn't find it for the last month or so.
Well, it would have been nice to have seen some of the initiative that we've seen over the last 3 days, over the last
Two Saturdays.
previous month or so, or 2 months.
Or
Then it would have been
at
done.
least those 2 Saturdays.
I don't see we're pushing the issue where, you know, to get those sidewalks down, and we're gonna have to pay if they bust up on our own, where that pays either, so, we're in a situation now that they're obviously working hard to get as much done as they can, being the last warm day for quite a while, the way it looks, so.
They, like this council, don't like to pay overtime.
They paid double on Sunday.
So,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that they didn't do it.
Yep.
What is it, time and a half on Saturday?
I don't know what the,
They had 2 beautiful Saturdays that they could have worked.
it's the council's pleasure. We had no incentives in the contract. So if you don't have incentives in the contract to finish it early, there's also no stick approach either to punish them if they don't get it done.
Any further contracts coming up, there will be incentives.
Not if it's with MinDOT.
Really?
I pushed for it. They said, we don't do those kind of contracts. And I said, yes, you do. The Highway 35 bridge project was
Yes.
all incentives. Apparently, it's just something they don't do in small towns.
Only the biggies.
And since they're not paying the majority of this project, it would have fallen on our laps to pay if they had performed it sooner.
So when will the lighting go up?
When
Street
will-
lights.
The word I'm getting is they'll be shipped in early December. Most, if not all, of the PEDs are in, and they're pouring the last ones over the next couple of days. Wire's all in the ground, so we're just waiting for the poles to get here. So it should be early December. We should be going up.
What was the holdup again on the poles? Why? Back order?
Don't know. Manufacturer issue. They're not an off-the-shelf item, but they said they would be 6 to 8 weeks, and that was a while ago. So we pinged them and asked them when they were gonna ship them, and they said they'd be here in December.
We have at least 2 specialty things on those poles too, that might be why it's taking longer.
Yeah, except for those, the way that they described it, it's very easy retrofit, so it shouldn't have added a whole lot of extra time to it.
And
But to be honest, we didn't have the PEDs ready for them until a couple of weeks ago. It took them quite a while to run the conduit. So even if we had the poles, we wouldn't have been able to put them up a lot earlier.
In the interim, then they're gonna have those portable lights that are gonna be shining on the streets.
Yes.
How many will there be? I see there's one down by the bank
I
and
think we
one
have
up here.
3.
Three?
I think we have 3.
They
They had to move
moved
them.
them tonight up to this area.
And
They're paving.
they're moving them as they're
Yeah.
paved.
I'll move to accept the recommendation to extend the timeline to June 15th, because I want this project finished right, not just finished.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hansi, second by Mr. Dahl. Any questions or comments?
Hopefully, I guess I will say hopefully, once they have the main paving done here, that we'll be able to work around at least keeping Main Street open,
We should be able to put on,
so that we won't have to block sections of the town off again.
It will open up once they're done paving.
This year? Yes.
Yeah.
So, are they,
Yeah, I can't guarantee it's gonna be open tomorrow because they still got a lot of
Right.
shoulder work to
Right.
do.
But
it-
once it opens, so that we can not be blocking it off for weeks at a time again.
Correct.
and are they,
That's the intention. I can't guarantee that they're not gonna have the bypass for a couple of days or even a week or so. I mean, he told me on Friday that Jesse Street was gonna be closed for a couple hours on Saturday, and it was closed right through today. So, you know, these guys kinda make up their own rules as they go.
him and Hall?
Something you guys better check on.
Thank you.
And so we.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you is right.
We lean on them, and we do the best we can, but
Better check on
Had-
it.
Thank you.
had they filled it back in, they would've had to dig it back out again today.
No, are they gonna put up 2
Really?
lifts, did you say?
Today,
Or, well, while they're here? I
More-
can't go tell.
more than likely only the base course.
They're finishing the second lift on the north end.
We had them do that because they poured the west side and it would've been uneven.
Yep.
But I don't think they're planning to put the wear course on. What they told us is that there'll be a 24-foot drive lane down the road. Where there is curb, they will take the asphalt to the curb. Where there isn't, you're just gonna have the drive lanes, and there'll be gravel matched in.
One thing I'd like to see is that, put that compactor right in between those 2 lanes, because there's always a crack left between. And if they run a roller over there, that would meld that together,
Okay?
really.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna tell them how to pave the road. All I'm telling you is that, you know, the engineers, they have their specifications, it has to pass the MinDOT specification. The first lift is not the important one, nor is the second one, it's how they match the third one. That's the important one that we've gotta watch. What?
I talked to Tim on Saturday from Dunmathy, and he's gonna be back in town, I guess sometime, maybe tomorrow or whenever. I'll talk to him again.
Okay.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. This is not an open session, sir. Thank you.
Do not talk to your citizens like that.
This is not an open meeting.
Well,
It is not for you to chime in.
I just told you.
And I told you,
Very good.
respect the process, sir.
You too.
I am respecting the process.
Hold on. Please.
8